Today we're going to be talking about better or worse Miami Dolphins running backs. And when you look at this group, I think when you look at the running back group, it rivals the receiver group in terms of talent. The running back group, in terms of all of the NFL, I think is one of the more talented groups, more underratedly talented, because I think they're going to have a huge year this upcoming year. And I have a lot of faith in this running back group. So let's get into this, because when we break it down, I think we got to start with Adam Gase. Now, Adam Gase is known for being this quarterback whisperer. He changes quarterbacks' careers for the better. He's known for that. He obviously gave Peyton Manning his best year. He gave Jay Cutler his best year. He even had some effect of shaping Tim Tebow into what he was. He was the quarterback coach down there, and that's a project in its own. So Adam Gase obviously known for being the quarterback whisperer, but Adam Gase is an amazing. What he does with running backs, especially in the receiving game, is something special. When he coached Noshawn Moreno down there in Chicago, he had over 500 yards receiving coming out of the backfield. Noshawn Moreno, okay, not the greatest route runner in the world, not the greatest pass catcher in the world, but Noshawn Moreno had over 500 yards receiving under Adam Gase. So Adam Gase uses the running backs a lot in the passing game. He's known for it. He's really, really good at taking bad, like, players you never have heard of before, and turning them into something really, really good. He did that with Zach Miller down there in Chicago. He did that with Conti. I can't remember his full name right now. It's escaping me. The running back out of Chicago. He did that with Noshawn Moreno, who's more of a name than some of those other players, but he's a master at that, and he's really good at getting running backs in open space and involved in the passing game. It's a big part of his system. Okay, so I think we should start with Jay Ajayi. Jay Ajayi, obviously one of the best running backs in the NFL. He's the second coming, in my opinion, of Marshawn Lynch. He plays a lot like Marshawn Lynch. He runs hard. He's probably the hardest player to bring down in the NFL. He had 900 yards after contact. It doesn't get much more beast mode than that. Jay Ajayi is one of the best running backs in the league. I would put him in my top 3, my top 4, top 5. I think nationally he's definitely in the top 5 list. Jay Ajayi is one of the best running backs in the league, obviously eclipsing over 1,000 yards rushing. He had those big 200-yard games down there in Buffalo, and we needed him the most. He had the 200-yard game. I remember, going up to that video, I said, previewing the game, I made a video about that, and I said, Jay's going to have another 200-yard game to get us, to push us into the playoffs. Going up there in Buffalo, taking some pressure off of Matt against a really good passing defense of the Buffalo Bills. Their secondary was on fire that year. Obviously, Stephon Gilmore had 5 picks, and he ran right through Marcel Darius and Kyle Williams, Jerry Hughes. They have some Preston Brown. They have some really good players up there in Buffalo at stopping the run. They weren't so good at it last season, but they had some talent. They were a very, very talented front, and Jay Ajayi just blasting them. Jay Ajayi is one of the, and he's a really good receiving back too. I don't think he's shown that over his few years. I don't know why, but him coming out of Boise, he caught a lot of passes. So Jay Ajayi, one of the best running backs in the league, one of the most talented players in the NFL, one of the most talented young players in the NFL. Jay Ajayi is one of the best running backs in the league. And anytime you have some player that they do, something that they're one of the best at what they do, I mean, it's great. So moving on from that, obviously, Damian Williams. Now, I love Damian Williams. I don't know how you couldn't if you're not a Dolphins fan. Damian Williams is a Swiss Army knife of death, okay? He lined up at fullback. He split out in receiver at times. Obviously, he was most effective in the passing game. He made huge plays in the pass game. Talking about that Buffalo game, he yards after the catch. He had that one huge spurt up to put us in the red zone against Buffalo to get, to help us get into the playoffs. Damian Williams obviously had that huge touchdown against San Diego. He is a matchup nightmare, and Adam Gase used him to the best of his abilities, scoring touchdowns all over the football field. Damian Williams, one of the better Swiss Army knife specialists. He can do everything in the NFL. Now, the next guy we're talking about is Kenyon Drake. I love Kenyon Drake. I think when you watch tape of him last year, I think he needs to do all the little things to get more playing time, and he doesn't even have to do that to make a huge impact on the field. But when he figures those little things out, whether that be pass protection, I think his best pass protection game by far was the New England game because we really needed him in that game, and he showed up. But Kenyon, super talented. He's 6 foot up. He's he ran a 4.4 coming out of college. He made plays to win us games. I mean, the 49ers game he made plays. In the Jets game he made plays. He was probably one of the best special teams players he was the best returner on our team. Obviously Jakeem Grant had that terrible spell of dropping punts and stuff, but Kenyon Drake, so talented. It gives me. I'm so excited to watch what he does in his second year because I think he can be a special player in the league. In this league, I really do. I think Kenyon Drake in an Adam Gase system where no Sean Moreno got 500 yards receiving, Kenyon Drake can pull a Marshall Faulk one year and have 1,000 yards receiving. That's how talented this kid is. The only reason Kenyon wasn't selected higher than he was is because of his injury history coming out of Alabama. If you guys remember, obviously he suffered a lot of leg injuries, and if he didn't, he would have been a first-round pick probably. If anything, I mean, obviously he probably would have been second-round pick. Obviously he was a third-round pick, but a lot of people said he rivaled Derrick Henry in his talents. If it wasn't for the injuries, he may have started for Alabama. So Kenyon Drake is, I think, super talented, and I cannot wait to see him play under Adam Gase in this system. And I would not be surprised if one year he went over 1,000 yards receiving because of the talent level there. If he can stay healthy, like I said, if he can somehow find his. Because we have, I think we should, especially with the Raiders, with what they did with their three-headed monster last year, I think we have the same thing down here in Miami. We have that three-headed monster. And if our offensive line stays healthy, relatively healthy, for like 10 games, that would be awesome, 10 games straight, this running back group can have one heck of a year, and it's going to terrorize defenses all year next year. I mean, Kenyon Drake alone, Damian Williams, Jay Ajayi, it's one of the best young groups in the NFL, and I cannot wait to see them play obviously in the 2017 season. That's why I am going to say the Dolphins running backs are way better than they were a year ago because I think development in a year under the system, they're going to have one heck of a year this upcoming season. Mark my dang word. I promise you guys these guys are going to have an insane year, especially Kenyon. I just see Kenyon. I see big things. If he can stay healthy, and God forbid hopefully he wouldn't get hurt in training camp or something like that, Kenyon is going to have one heck of a year this upcoming season. Same thing with Damian Williams, if he doesn't get less playing time because of Kenyon. Obviously Jay Ajayi. I think we have that three-headed monster that the Raiders had this last season, and I cannot wait to see these guys play. So that's going to be it, guys. I am SkyX83. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think about the Miami Dolphins running backs, and I'll see you guys in the next one.